Hello, Internet. Demagen here. Welcome back to some more Endwalking, where we are going to be joining the best of the best as we make our way up to the third zone. A mysterious gift. The other members of the Ilsabard contingent are gathered in the royal palace. I shall inform them of your arrival, so please make your way inside as soon as you are ready. Okay. The remaining members of the Science, your friends and most of the Ilsabard contingent await you within. Would you like me to see you through? Yar. So, onwards we go to meet our comrades.
By the 12.
Oh. Oh no, Lise. Hold on. Some of these people are quite recognisable.
Glad you could join us. I hope you don't mind, but we went ahead and started without you.
I do mind, actually, Thancred. I'm the main character here.
Our travelling companions were eager to become acquainted. 'Tis a rare thing indeed to see such a diverse and talented group of individuals assembled for a single purpose.
True.
We fight not only for the sake of Eorzea, but for the entire world, including the people of Garlemald.
Are those the
Rides
Black
on
Mage
efforts
kids?
of the Ilsabard contingent.
That's Pippin.
Indeed, which is why I am glad to find
Yay!
myself in the company of many trusted comrades, yourselves included.
Hi, Lucia. It makes sense that you come with us, what with you being from Garlemald and stuff.
Lucia!
I have come at the behest of Lord Emmerich, who has honored me with the role of Ishgard's representative. And for the good of all nations, not least my former homeland, I am determined to see this mission through to its end.
Good.
We have a hard road ahead of us, but walk it we shall, together.
Teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work.
We too welcome this opportunity to work together once more. I have faith that if there is a way to resolve this conflict, we will find it.
Allow me to introduce you to the rest
She
of
always
our
had a
company.
blonde streak in her hair.
Everyone! If I may have your attention.
Those are the... Hi, Lise. Those are the guys from the Skystone Manufactory, aren't they? Whose name I can't remember.
Might I ask you to speak first?
He's the kids from the Conjurers Guild.
If I must, I am Arun Senna, spokesman for the Gridanian delegation. Here on behalf
Yes,
of my
younger brother.
esteemed sister, the Elder Seedseer, we shall provide support and protection to those in need during our time in Garlemald. To that end, I am joined by healers selected by the Conjurers Guild, with the Order of the Twin Adder's Finest serving as our escort.
Some of these you might recognise from certain job quests.
Of course, with an experienced white mage such as yourself accompanying us as well, those requiring more involved treatment will be in safe hands. Raya
Nice.
sends her regards, by the way.
So a little bit of voice-acted stuff, just on the off chance that we've got White Mage leveled. Clearly I'm not on White Mage at the moment.
I'd better say my piece.
I don't know who you are.
Wait, I know you. The name's Sicard, in case you've forgotten. Truth be told, I'd rather you had forgotten.
This is the guy from the Marauders, from the Scholars quest, isn't it?
Anyway, the Admiral asked Captain Hilfier to send his best, and for whatever reason, he picked me.
I can't remember. What was Sicard involved in?
Of course, if I'd refused, I'd be the laughing stock of the bloody executioners, and my reputation's taken enough of a keyhauling as it is. But more importantly, like any pirate worth his salt, I know when you're staring down a storm, You gotta trust in the commander of your ship.
True.
So if the Admiral wants us to go to Garlemald, not for plunder and glory, but a promise of peace in our time, then that's what we'll do.
Yes. Still don't remember who you are.
Since we all know how much the Empire loves its steel, we thought we'd bring along a few smiths to make the most of it. Give them a pile of scrap and they'll cobble together anything you fancy.
So we're going to set up like a little mini settlement.
Of course, just like the Gridanians, we got fighters of our own. We might have come with a more constructive purpose in mind, but we're more than capable of cracking skulls, believe you me.
Yes.
Well, you're certainly raring to go. But then again, so are we. The most dependable warriors of Uldar and Alamigo have assembled at the Sultana and General Aldin's behest.
I don't know who the green guy is. Obviously, we know Pippin. And we know the guys from the Black Mages Guild. But I feel like I shouldn't... he's a monk, isn't he? Oh.
If Garlemald has truly fallen, then the whole place is likely to be crawling with Telophoroi. We'll need plenty of troops to clear and hold a path for others to follow.
Yep.
That's where we come in. Naturally, Marshal Terrapin and I will be leading from the front.
Naturally.
It's been some time since I last saw you in your element on the battlefield.
From what I've heard, you've become pretty fearsome yourself. Master Matoya, the avatar of destruction.
Uyanjay hiding his face with the cards.
With comrades like these, I know we'll succeed, no matter what awaits us. And then we might finally get a chance to enjoy a good long rest.
Bah.
But until then, let's give it our all.
Indeed.
As for Ishgard, we Temple Knights have come in force to uphold our nation's commitment to the peace and welfare of our allies. The bitter cold of Garlemald is a formidable enemy in of itself. Our experience fighting in ice and snow will prove invaluable in the days ahead.
I don't think Lisa's really dressed for it.
Designated commander of the Ilzabard contingent. I will do all in my power to provide you with the leadership and
Right, you're the
guidance you
boss.
require. The four high houses, House Hylinart foremost among them, have arranged for a host of machinists to join us on our mission. Their knowledge of Imperial Magitech is sure to be a great boon. They will address any problems of a technical nature, together with the smiths of Limpsa Lomitsa. There is another awaiting introduction.
Lord Emanolaine!
Ah, yes. Emanolaine de Forton, at your service.
What are you doing here?
Though, lest there be any misunderstanding, I should stress that I've not become a fearsome warrior while you were away. Rather, far from it, actually. My brother, in his infinite wisdom, decided this would be an excellent chance to make something of myself. Oh, and fight for world peace and all that. But, should the opportunity arise for a spot of ballroom dancing, I will be your twinkle-toed gentleman of light.
Dear Lord, Emanolaine. I dare say your fancy footwork may be all that stands between us and certain doom.
Huzzah! I cannot wait to regale Honoroa with my tales of daring do.
Oh, dear Lord, this isn't going to go well.
I believe that concludes introductions to the Grand
Lucia,
Company of
massively
Aelzia.
impressed.
Our allies from the Eastern Alliance were due to arrive some time ago, but it would appear they have been delayed.
Would that be the shinobi of Doma?
Most likely.
Actually, they've been tasked with relaying messages back and forth between the various eastern nations. According to Lord Hien, however, an equally capable
Is it going to be the
company
moles?
of warriors has been sent in their stead.
Out of my way!
Yep, yeah, it is. Excellent. I love these two. Oh dear.
Forgive us for coming late.
Hello, Serena.
We are the delegates
Been a while.
of the Eastern Alliance.
Dramatically timed.
Serena, and you've brought company.
For battle and blood we come, as the steppe is sorely lacking in both. No towers befoul our lands, so we marched on those of Doma, only to find them beyond our reach. But now our thirst for slaughter will be slaked. No quarter to the enemy!
Sadu is obviously a perfectly reasonable and well-balanced individual.
Sadu Hatun, no. We go to make peace with the Iron Men, not war.
We are then going to bring down the towers.
Warriors of the steppe, we've heard many tales of your bravery. We welcome you as allies. And these other ones you have brought are...
Members of the Dalmascan resistance group, Lente's Tears.
Of course, yes. I'd forgotten about these guys.
And the Bosnian resistance. Between them, they have a wealth of experience in espionage.
This
They are
might
particularly
change
adept at
slightly if
infiltrating
you've got a
Imperial
high enough
facilities,
rank. I don't know.
which is fortuitous, since Garlemald's domain is so vast that I could never hope to handle reconnaissance duties all by myself.
Dalmasca, Bosnia, Alamigo. All lands which have suffered the tyranny of the Empire.
Yes, thank you, Alphino, just for reminding us of these things.
I would never presume to question your motives. Nevertheless, I must reiterate that our goal is to aid the victims of the Telophoroi, the common folk of Garlemald. And they are victims, make no mistake. Though I understand that many may struggle to see them as such.
He's not wrong.
You're more right than you know. For every one of us that answered the call, there were a dozen that refused. Not only in Alamigo, but everywhere we went. And who could blame them? The Empire's always been the enemy.
True.
But after seeing what we've seen, fighting and working against and with Garleans, there's no denying the simple truth. They're just people. No different from you or I. They've got their share of liars and murderers, but so do we. So do we all. Fordola, who once swore herself to Garlemald, has proven
Where is
herself
Fordola?
a trusted ally time and time again.
And where is Sid?
Every Eorzean here knows Sid Garland, the Imperial defector who shared with us countless technological wonders. Maxima, who stands with us today, tried to reform Garlemald from within and make peace with Doma.
Good speech, ladies.
So you can believe me when I say that every fighter here understands and accepts that the Imperials are not monsters and are deserving of help. Or at least that they were able to put aside their feelings for the greater good. It won't be easy.
I like the fact that all of the people in the background are literally not moving or breathing or anything. We're so glad we got the Vieira in their racial
What
outfits.
concerns I may have had were clearly unwarranted. I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly.
Well, quite right, Alphino, because otherwise you'd be an idiot.
Then
Shall we
are
go
in
then?
accord. Now, let us review our strategy.
We kill.
To reach the Garlean capital in northern Ilsabard, we must cross the central mountain range. Fortunately, Garland Ironworks can provide aerial transport, sparing us this most treacherous part of our journey.
There's quite a lot of people here for that.
However, attempting to fly any closer to Garlemald would
Well,
attract the attention
they're
of
going to
the
know we're
Telophoroi.
coming anyway.
As they appear to have seized control of the majority of the Imperial military, we must assume that includes its fleet. In addition, Garlemald possesses devices that can interfere with airship navigation systems,
Even Sid's.
further discouraging an airborne approach.
Given the circumstances, the closest we dare deploy our contingent is an area between the range and the capital, the Magna Glaciers. From there, we must travel the rest of the way on foot. We will also need to bring the airships with us to ensure we can withdraw with haste. Although much of the terrain will be blanketed in snow, we should be able to make use of local roads and shipping facilities.
Okay.
The vast ice field will afford us an unobstructed view of the surrounding area. On the other hand,
pros and
we'll
cons.
also allow others to easily spot us. So it is imperative that we only make camp in positions where we can easily defend ourselves. And the airships, which must be kept safe at all costs.
We cannot account for every possibility, so we must be prepared to think on our feet.
Well, that's what
We
we're
will be
good at.
tested. Sorely tested, I expect. But for our homes and for our people, and a people not our own but in need, we will succeed. Spare no effort in your preparations. Once we depart, there is no turning back.
Except for Aetherites. Ah, now they move. Okay, that was mighty rallying. It was nice to hear Lise speaking about stuff as well. I've always liked Lise's voice actress. Something very soothing about it. Right, let's see. I don't know who you are. I'm here representing the Marauders Guild. It's my job to keep the Smiths out of harm's way. Mind you, with them hammers of theirs, they can put up a fair fight themselves. With a bit of luck, this will be all over and done with before you know it. Maybe when this is all over, you can pay the Axemaster a visit. He still tells all the new recruits about the time you killed Kajata and avenged that boy's parents. I remember it like it was yesterday. So, if you've done the Marauders quest, forget that. Coco! We came as quickly as we could. We would follow your example and devastate the Telothroi with the full extent of our powers. Were it not for your brothers, Pussy, we will return soon enough. Right, who is Chichuto? I'm so glad I found you. I for you a letter from Master Hammond. Let's read it together, shall we? This is a monk thing. Now let's see here. I've every confidence that your fists shall bring the Telothroi to their knees, and should you espy any beautiful maidens thereabouts, perhaps sing to them my praises. Charming, Master. Well, don't fool me for thinking that letter would contain something actually inspiring. Let's just forget this note exists and focus on the battle ahead. I cast my lot with the Popularis to bridge the divide between Garlemald and her territories, that all may be united in common cause. But we were disparaged as a radical element, dissenters looking to destabilize the Empire from within. Many friends and even my parents perished in unfortunate accidents. I too would surely have met the same fate had I not defected. Nevertheless, I still dream of equality and peace for us all. As the world itself stands on the brink of collapse, I hold out hope that one day that dream will become reality. There's a real feel of, end of game that we're getting to here, isn't there? And obviously, FF14 is not going to end. Well, well, if I'd known what a social gathering this would turn out to be, I'd have dressed for the occasion. Still, this seems the perfect opportunity to mingle with the other guests. Would I be correct in assuming those ladies over yonder are Sereno and Sadu of the step? Perhaps I should introduce myself, and I don't much like the look of that fellow with the enormous axe. That's Magni, isn't it? Yeah. Stefanivian. Ah, if it isn't Demagen. It is thanks in no small part to you that the manufacturer's future is looking brighter than ever, my friend. I'm pleased to report that I and a handful of my colleagues have been selected to join the contingent. Ere the expedition has ended, even the Temple Knights will be singing our machinists' praises, as they have borne witness to not only our mechanical proficiency, but our combat prowess too, of course. Alberic. Is Alberic one of the Dragoon questers? Yeah, he's the guy from the Observatory, isn't he? The original Dragoon quest guy. Well, let me have a look at you. Touch nervous to enter the battlefield, perhaps? Well, I shall be out there alongside you as a Temple Knight, serving with your fine van. I may not look it. I was the Azure Dragoon once upon a time, so you can rest assured I will give all that I have in the coming fights. I certainly won't be shown up by you or Westinian. Indeed. Tancred. I've close ties with the Scouts of the Eastern Alliance and the various resistance groups, and they're an absolute joy to work with. Okay. Blessed are we to have made countless steadfast allies of our journey's course. Indeed, we are joined today by many new acquaintances who in time shall we come to call our comrades and mayhap friends. I was half expecting to find the man who taught me red magic amongst our number, but he's nowhere to be seen. I suppose he's had his share of unpleasant experiences with the Empire, and so have we all. Perhaps there's some other reason. Who is Ali's tutor? Make a note of that. Well, in any case, I have a feeling I'll see him again once this is all over. I'm sure he'll be pleasantly surprised by how much my sword play's improved since we last met. Alphino! We've been part of joint military operations like this before, and with far greater numbers, but for some reason this feels very different to our previous experiences. Despite having shared little more than introductions, there is already a palpable sense of camaraderie. Oh, I wonder if it's because, we're a linchpin. This is extraordinary. To be in such company, the finest our allies have to offer. With comrades such as these, we are bound to succeed, I'm certain of it. I did not expect to see the other former Aju Dragoon here of all places. As he well knows, I'm not one for verbose greetings. We shall instead let our lances do the talking once we are on the battlefield. Then we'll see if the other has been diligent in his training. Yes, Arun! In case you were wondering, Eshiva will be staying behind to defend the Twelveswood with her sisters. She was of the opinion she would make a useful addition to our contingent and was eager to make good on her vow to accompany me as well, which was flattering, but ultimately it was decided that her skills would be better put to use keeping our homeland safe. I am of course obligated to share with her every detail when I return. That's his sister, isn't it? Sanson is one of the Lancers Guild, if I remember correctly. Our prowess has finally been recognised by the Order of the Twin Adder. Naturally, Guidolo is also here helping us. These are the Bard guys. While his ability as a Bard is unmatched, I do worry about his judgments. However, you need not. I shall be keeping a close eye on him, I promise. I can't lie to you, Demon. I wasn't entirely for this whole thing when Sanson spoke to me, but if it means being your brother in arms, then who am I to pettifog? What the hell's pettifog mean? I shouldn't be so hard on him, I suppose. This Bard unit's quite impressive, really. Yes, one must give credit where credit's due. Rather uncouth for one to do otherwise, after all. Alka! Greetings, Demijan. The time has come for us Marines to show our valour upon the battlefield. All who see us will know of our name and quake before our mights. To victory, come hells or high water. Until the Empire fell, Garleans were the only ones who was allowed to impose tariffs upon at sea. Weren't easy pickings, but I made myself a pretty gill. Since they've been so generous to me and mine, perhaps it's time I return the favour and give a little something back. Oops. Oh, I haven't spoken to Liz. It seems so long ago we were sailing across the Ruby Sea and charging about the Azim Steppes with Cyrano and the others. And so we're overdue for another adventure. It brings back memories to see so many familiar faces. We've been through so much together. Good times and not so good. I expect Garlemald will be mostly the latter, but I'd like to believe we'll look back on those days more fondly in the years to come. But for that to happen, we'll have to make it out of this alive. Don't you die on me, eh? Pippin! Often his father told me of the struggles faced by Alamigo in the days of the occupation, and I too have crossed swords with the Empire on many occasions. Though Garlemald has long been our bitter enemy, her Grace has elected to bolster the Ilsbardian contingent with members of the Immortal Flames. As representatives of the Sultanate, we are one in our commitment to the cause. Okay. Finally. I'm glad to see you well, Demijan. Grandmother was worried for you. The night I agreed to come hither and join the contingent, the gods sent her a strange dream. 2 suns, one burning red, the other frozen black. Closer they circled, closer and closer, and as they danced the world fell to ruin. Blind in chaos, she spied blackened silhouettes and knew at once the one was yours. Yet we know not how to interpret this dream, save as a sign that great danger awaits. Whatever lies ahead, I will walk with you, traveller. I care not for the Iron Men or their troubles. It is the destiny of the weak to die in ignominy. Even so, I will do as I have agreed. I volunteered to join this band at Serena's request, and if she thinks it is a worthy cause, that is reason enough. Though we hail from different tribes, our bond has grown strong of late. She is much better company on a hunt than any of the Steppes' oafish men could dream to be. Speaking of oafish men, with the Mol, champions of the Nardam, and the Dothal having sent so many here, I'd thought to defend the steppe in their absence. And I would have done so were it not for my steppe brothers. They urged me to grant our allies the sun's might, that his radiance may deliver them unto victory. Though I must tolerate the presence of this feral Dothali dog, as first among my brothers, I could do no less than accept the challenge. My deeds will become the stuff of legends. We've been going like that a while, dude. Right, I think I've spoken to everybody. I've led troops into battle many a time, but never a unit with such a diverse range of talents. While I've been briefed on their capabilities, I expect you could provide additional insight into their strengths and weaknesses. and appreciate any advice you may have. Let's go! Besides the delegates assembled here, the Amalder and several other tribes offered to send troops of their own. Unfortunately, due to their physiology, many would struggle simply to survive in the harsh climate of Ilsabard. They would also likely prove tempting targets for abduction by the Telopheroi. All things considered, they can better aid the cause by bolstering our defences in Eorzea, though their eagerness to do more has been noted. We few shall have to suffice. Ere we embark, we must distribute the warding scales to our comrades. Care to do the honours? Warding scales for this Guardian delegation, I take it. Many thanks. These talismans may prove to be the deciding factor in the battles to come. I find myself conflicted by this foray into Garlemald, sent by the Empire to infiltrate Ishgard, only to throw in my lot with those whose secrets I was supposed to be stealing. And now I lead a mission to save the countrymen I betrayed. But that is doubtless why I was chosen by Lord Emmerich. He would have me put my extensive knowledge and former ties to good use. I will not disappoint him. For the future of Ishgard, Garlemald, and the world at large, I will lead us to victory. A set of warding scales, I spy. Not that I would know what they look like. Wow, look at these. Even a layman like me can tell they're bursting with ether. All the better to fend off the tempering waves, is that the right term? Anyway, this will give us one less thing to worry about, which just leaves the other mountain of what else is waiting for us in Garlemald. Only one way to find out, eh? And nervous or not, I'd march through all the 7 hells if it gave me a chance to put Xenos back in the grave where he belongs. Hey, you got something for us? Ah, them scales everyone's been talking about. Pretty little things, ain't they? Reckon they'll be worth a gill or two when this is all over, but we'll hold on to them for now. One more thing. I know that you're all thinking, why didn't they send Einzar along instead? Well, if I know. All the Admiral and Captain Hilford told me that they needed someone to help safeguard the future, and here I am. Can't say they haven't got a sense of humour. Well, some of you might be wondering what good a pirate is on dry land in the middle of the solid snow of all places. Well, me and my crew will do whatever needs doing, so let's set sail over the saying goes on airships. Yes? Ah, so these are the famed warding scales. Enough for me and my men, I see. I myself am especially grateful for this opportunity to visit distant lands. I wish to follow in the footsteps of Master Atau and learn all there is to learn of this star we call home. Indeed, that is the primary reason I volunteered to join the expedition. To journey outside the Twelveswood, much less enter into Imperial territory, is a rare privilege afforded a Pajal. Not that I'm tagging along to see the sights. The Garleans would benefit from my healing magics, as would our comrades should fighting break out. Still haven't unlocked the sightseeing log. We heard it would be cold in Garlemald, so we came prepared. Oh, the talismans. We are to keep these close at all times, yes? They will see that no one misplaces theirs. Ah, before I forget, I have a message from Hien. In distant lands, in times of strife, together stands, together fights. In darkness shines the light of life. I proved in his words justice. Doma, like much of Othod, has been plagued by the towers, yet while he could not be here, he wishes to express his shared conviction. Hien and Yugiri labour without rest to unite the people. With their aid, we will keep the enemy at bay. We of the Steppe and the Eastern Alliance will repay their efforts by ending this war. Maxima, do you have a warding scale for me too? Certainly do. Thank you for this, and for going to such incredible lengths for the sake of my people. Though I have little to offer in return, I would impart some advice, if I may. You have been told by many to wear the cold of Ilsabard, and I cannot stress enough that this is no token warning. I will be distributing specially made warming tinctures courtesy of the Alchemist Guild, but understand that they are no substitute for proper protection. I leave the provisioning of said protection to your discretion. Now, oh, is that going to be the gift at the end of the quest, that we get a warm coat? Now, let us proceed to the Alamegan Quarter. When you make your final preparations, I will have the pilots ready the airships. This has been a really long quest. We're 30 minutes into this recording, and I think it's literally just the one quest, hasn't it? Mind you, I've done a lot of talking. It's something of a constant refrain that we require warmer clothing. My present garb may be lacking, fur colour notwithstanding. Concoctions to fortify the flesh against wind and cold are commonly sold in the Uldan markets, though they are of dubious provenance and efficacy. It is said, however, that in recent days the Alchemist Guild have produced a tincture capable of such a feat. Mayhap the achievements of their Thavnarian counterparts did spur them to action, that they not be put to shame. This coat is quite warm, but I have something rather thicker for occasions like this. There's no telling how long we'll be out in the open, and we can't go starting fires willy-nilly if we want to avoid detection. If you've anything you still need to take care of, you'd better see to it now. Since my revival, I've been lax in expanding my limited wardrobe. I think we have time for a quick trip back to Old Sharlayan. I recall a rather fetching coats. Preparations. I've got my armour and my lance. What more could I need? Well, yes. Indeed. This is our last chance to make ready before we set forth. You needn't worry about Urianger and I. We still have what we wore in Garlemald before. Estinian claims to be quite warm and toasty beneath his arm, and since he spends a fair bit of time at North recently and well, I've no reason to doubt his words. Most of the others will be borrowing Grand Company stock. The rest of you could do likewise, I suppose, provided you're not overly concerned with style. Not to put too fine a point tonight, but I wouldn't be seen dead in one of those ridiculous overcoats. If only I had time to find something to my liking. Hark! Is that the cry of silence in need of a tailor I hear? Is this Tataru? It is. Fresh back from the voyage, Tataru? But how? I have my ways. Oh, yes, indeed. You thought you could sneak off to Ilsamard without telling me? Ha! Nothing escapes my notice. That's a new outfit, isn't it? Now, you will wear these garments I've made for you, whether you like it or not. You never cease to amaze. But why do you need a new outfit as well? Wait, are you coming with us? What? No, of course not, silly. It's all in the name of fashion. Rather the pursuit of the highest quality fashion. Besides, how could I expect others to wear my creations if I've never worn them myself? Ah, I did have one other thing to share. Emgus and Bloomvida have finally returned from assignments in faraway lands. They'll be staying at the Rising Stones for a while to keep an eye on events throughout Eorzea. Since they'll be running things back at headquarters, I was wondering if I could lend a hand in Sharlayan? Oh, why not? You can keep Krell company in the Baldician Annex. Yes, we'd love to have you there. I heard Angus and Bloomvida did a fine job carrying on in our stead while we were lying comatose. With them in charge of the Rising Stones, we've nothing to worry about. My thoughts exactly. Also, while I'm confident you won't go collapsing again because a certain someone who shall remain nameless isn't in position to transport your souls to another world, if anything similarly disastrous were to happen, I'd be well positioned to do something about it. Anyway, I've got a few things to take care of, and then I'll make my way to Sharlayan. I really do hope these new clothes are enough to keep you warm in Garlemald. It's not much, but it's the only thing I can do for you, other than pray for your safe return, which I will, every day. Let's not keep the contingent waiting any longer. Here are your winter woolies, handcrafted by yours truly. Thanks, Tataru. Do bum 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 bum. Clothing. Do. Right. Winter woolies for Dema. What's it look like? It looks like a nice warm coat. There we go. We are now ready. Delightful and warm. Are the others around? I want to see what their new outfits are. Or... no. Guess not. Okay. Let us head onwards for a frosty reception. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.